Literacy. We host wealth strategy sessions and socioeconomic masterminds. The Board of Literacy is a 501c3 FinLit foundation based in Dallas, Texas, and we're the proud sponsor of Consistency is Currency 2 podcast. We have several platforms you can join to accomplish your wealth building goals.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Consistency is Currency. How was your weekend? Put down in the chat how your weekend was, whatever your emoji that you feel like using right now. Just don't put the middle finger emoji up. I'm just saying. But I pray that your weekend has been blessed, and I pray that when we get through now, the way I broke down time, I broke down how time is related to certain things. And I think that you're going to really look at it from a definite different perspective when you begin to break this up and chop this up as well. So time. Now, what I'm gonna tell you where this came from. So I went to an event in Austin this weekend. It was a black men's event. You know, black men and social justice event down at UT. And there was a doctor. I forgot his name. I wish I knew his name because he the one who sparked the thought of where for such a time as this, came from. I know for such a time as this has a biblical term to it and where it came from, back in the book of Esther and stuff like that. But we're going to take this for such a time as this and put it into the right noun terms and how it relates to what you do and how it relates to the end state of the outcome for you and what you're doing right now. So if you understand for such a time as this, if you understand time, go ahead and put time inside the chat. TIME. Put TIME inside the chat because right now you took the time out or you're taking the time out to even listen to what I have to say right now. And this is going to give you time in a different perspective, which is going to help you begin to reform or reshape how you have been looking at time thus far. Because time has a relative standpoint, but I'm going to show you how time also have a relative way of looking at things. So let's go ahead and jump into it right now. So, not that one. Let me back that up. Man, almost put too much into it. So let me go back. All right, here we go. Now I can bring it up. It's ready. Like for real, ready. All right, for such a time as this. Yes, I'm clapping. You're not hearing things. I'm clapping because I'm excited about this because as I begin to break this down, hold on, let me back up. Let me see who's in the room. All right. Uh Miss Selena's in the room. My mom's in the room. All right. So for other people that's in the room, go ahead and drop down. Put time inside the chat. I'm telling you, when I break this down to you, you can be like, oh man, I never thought about time like this. I've never paid attention to time like this. I never paid attention to what is really being said about time because you're going to have to understand that time is a measurable thing. It is a solid, measurable thing. So, all right, here we go. Yeah. Time. Here it is. Availability. The first thing I want you to know is availability is the cousin of time. You're like, man, how is availability the cousin of time? Now, I broke these up into how they relate. So, therefore, relations, meaning, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, sibling, whatever it is. And we're going to break this up. Availability is the cousin of time. So how is availability the cousin of time? And I want you to look at it. If you understand and can see how availability is the cousin of time, go ahead and put your own twist on how you feel availability is a cousin of time. And I'm going to read that. How do you feel availability is the cousin of time? So while you're doing that, I'm gonna drop my own how I see availability is the cousin of time. Availability is a cousin of time. Availability will only be used by those who will take advantage of it. Availability will only be used by those who will take advantage of it, because the definition of availability is the quality of being able to obtain. Have anyone have ever asked you before, hey, so what's your availability this week? You see how that works? When they ask you, or they're asking you, what are your availability this week? That's how availability is the cousin of time, because they want to see, have you or will you, or is there a possibility that you have some time today to either sit with me, or some time today to have lunch or dinner, or some time today to really focus on the things that you really need to focus on. So what have you taken the time out to be available for? Have you taken the time out to be available for your spouse? Have you taken the time out to be available for your children? Or how available are you for the things that matter most? Again, availability is the cousin of time. Availability is so much the cousin of time that you will have to understand that it will only what? It will only be used by those who will take advantage of it. Will you take the advantage of being available for success? Or have you taken advantage to be available to sit down and to learn what it is that you need to learn? Again, that's how availability is the cousin of time. And as I begin to write these things out and break down time in a way that, you can look at it from a different perspective, or look at it just from a different angle, it just began to make so much sense to me in doing it, because it began to teach me, and I have to look at it from a transparent perspective as well. Was availability is going to make you open your eyes on how it is the cousin of time. Because again, like I said, have you made yourself available to learn, or you can obtain, or how can you obtain the outcome of what you actually want to do if you have yet, or if you have not made yourself available to it? A lot of people want the end state. A lot of people want the grand opening, but you have not made yourself available to what it is to start your business. You have not made yourself available in doing the homework. You have not made yourself available in learning how to apply the things that you know you need to apply to make yourself available to even open your doors, or to open yourself up to the possibilities of being there. It's like, I want to get married, but have you made yourself available to courting? I want to I want to I want to eat, but have you made yourself available to sit down and make yourself something to eat in order for you to provide that nutritional value that you have set for yourself? Like if you only want to eat 3,000 calories a day, or whatever it is, have you made yourself available to understand what your meal prep or what your meal plan is? Again, that goes into availability is the cousin of time. You have to make yourself available for the process too. And you have to understand that the process takes what? Time. The process takes time. And when people ask you, again, are you available? They're asking, do you really have time? Have you, or are you making yourself available for the favorable outcome, or will you continue to make yourself available for the excuses? That's the aha moment. How many of you know people who make themselves more available to the excuse on why they haven't done something, or the excuse on why things aren't happening, that they have yet to make themselves available for the time that it takes to be successful? Again, availability is the cousin of time. I'm telling you, when you begin to make yourself available to learn, it will make it that much more sweeter for you to say, for such a time as this. It makes it that much sweeter for you to say, for such a time as this, because I've made myself available to the lessons, because I've made myself available. It makes it that much sweeter because I know I've worked for this. I know I put myself in a position for this. I know that for such a time as this, it just makes it that much better. Efficient is the brother of time. Efficient is the brother of time. How do you see efficient as the brother of time? Go ahead and put that inside the chat. Efficient is the brother of time. And how do you see it? How do you see efficient as being the brother of time? Again, you're going to have to put yourself in that moment. And how do you understand being efficient? And how efficient and how time goes together? I'm going to tell you how efficient and time goes together, because again, efficient is the brother of time, but being efficient is the brother of time. Is being efficient will teach you how to maximize your productivity by being efficient with your time. It's just like when people say, I don't want to waste my time. But wasting time is not really what you're doing. You're really being efficient with the time that you have. Everyone has 24 hours in a day, but are you efficient within that 24-hour period? Everyone has the same 24-hour opportunity, but how effective are you in being efficient with the time that you have been given? If you have the ability to wake up this morning, right now, and to exercise your ability and your availability with the time that you are awake, if you get up 3 o'clock in the morning, you have more time in the day, whatever it is. But if you get up at 3 p.m., you still have the same opportunity as the person who woke up at 3 o'clock. But why? Because you have to efficiently use the time that you have left within that 24-hour period. I'm not saying if I get up at 3 a.m., if I get up at 3 p.m., I have less time. No, it's how you efficiently use the time that you have. Because remember, again, efficient is the brother of time. And the definition of efficient is the prevention of the wasteful use of a particular resource. And the particular resource that we're talking about right now is time. That's how efficient is the brother of time. Now, I don't know how many of you guys, or how many of you, I ain't gonna say guys, how many of you out there that have siblings, or out there that have, cousins, or whatever it is, and you have to either clean up the room or need to pick things up, and your mom or your uncle or your father or whatever it is say, hey, go out there, get your brother, tell him to help you out. What does that mean? That means you want to efficiently use the time, or efficiently use an additional hand to help you speed up the process, because there's a process of cleaning up this room. So you're utilizing a much more effective and efficient way of getting the room cleaned up a whole lot faster. So it does what? It speeds up, or it minimizes the amount of time, because it gives you more availability to do something else. So efficient, again, is the brother of time. Because being efficient with your resources or your money will allow you to say and be prepared for what? For such a time as this. Again, that's efficient is the brother of time, because the more money you save, the more you learn about wealth building, the more you learn about credit repair, or more you learn about your credit in general, to where you're literate about credit. You have more opportunity to have those rainy days, because for such a time as this, I have efficiently put money to the side. I have efficiently learned about building a business, or I have efficiently learned about my community, or have efficiently learned about my spouse. So when I get to that moment, again, it makes it that much better for you to say, for such a time as this, because I have efficiently used my time wisely. That's how efficient is the brother of time. Again, I want you to look at this from a realistic perspective to understand that you have to be efficient with the time that you have. You have to be available, or make yourself available to your cousin of time, because the things you make yourself available for will actually turn into being an efficient way of utilizing your time. Now, this is the big one right here. Measure is the spouse of time. I don't know where it came from, but but it is. And when I get to number 4, you're gonna really understand, like, okay, yeah, I see that. But number 3 is measure is the spouse of time. Measure is the spouse of time. How is measure the spouse of time? Because the verb definition of time is measure the time taken by the process or activity, or a person doing it. How do you measure your time? You measure your time like, okay, let's begin the backwards plan. If I want to be here at 5 o'clock, I know that I want to leave the house at this time, because my travel time is measured by what time I'm leaving and what time I'm going to show up. Again, I'll back that up even more. I know that I need to be dressed by this time. I know that I want to eat at this time. I know that I want to wake up at this time. Let's back that up again. I know I want to go to bed at this time. I know, back that up again. I know I want to ensure that my alarm is set for this particular time, just so all those other things that you want to do can actually take place, because you're measuring the time taken in order for what? The outcome to be that much sweeter. That's the measurement of time. That is how time is measured, because you're having the ability to put a little teaspoon in, or you're having the ability to measure the distance between the time you leave and the time you show up. Again, that's how the measure of time. That's how measure is the spouse of time, because the indefinite continued process of existence, or the event in the past, or the present, or the future, regarding as a whole. I'm looking at the whole picture. Have you looked at the whole picture and looked at it from a real honest perspective and say, you know what? I didn't measure my time properly. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. That's going to put you in that transparent moment. Be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I didn't measure my time properly. I should have left at this time. I didn't efficiently use my time. I had the same opportunity as everyone else, but I want to use an excuse instead of exercise my time properly, which I will effectively, efficiently use my time better in the future. I will learn how to measure my time. And the last one, information is the offspring of time. Information is the offspring of time. Now, this is a deep one. It's actually pretty dope. I again, just how it's broken down and how it's begin to be created. So, how is information the offspring of time? Remember, you have to go back to measure your time. All of it is information, but what are you doing with it? All right, the more you learn, the more time you have, or the more you may learn or obtain the ability to manage it. Because the more information you learn, the more time you can have. That's how information is the offspring of time. Because if information is the measure is the spouse of time, then information is the offspring of time. Because the more information that you learn, just like if you want to study time management, the more information that you learn about time management will give you the ability to have more what? More time. More information gives you more time. More information gives you more money. More information gives you more access. More information gives you the possibility of having more things. That's how embedding the information inside of you will have the ability to allow you to multiply the things that you actually want. Because now, when it goes inside and is measured properly, it will give you the ability to have more things. Because the offspring is based on your willingness to learn. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to create? Are you willing to understand that you have a responsibility in what? Providing more time. Because if you want to measure time with your child, you have to look at and be willing to learn what makes your child tick. Be willing to learn what your child's favorite color is. Be willing to learn where your child like to go out and eat, or be willing to learn what your spouse like or what your spouse do not like. Be willing to learn, hey, when I started my business, this was working and I noticed that I wasn't measuring it properly, so the outcome have been trash. So I need to look at what are my key point indicators that allow me to know that I need to make it better next time. So I need to go and seek more information about how to do my taxes, or seek more information about how to do social media, because now you're getting more information into learning how to make it better and to be willing to learn how to do it as well. Because taking more time to learn about yourself, take the time to even want to begin to learn how to build wealth. Take the time you need to learn more about business. And when you do, you will definitely know what it is to really say, for such a time as this. It will be that much sweeter to you. Why? Because you've prepared for it. You've prepared for it. Just like for those that, those that went to school, you went and you studied. You studied and you showed yourself approval. And then once you walk across that stage at the graduation, it just made it that much more sweeter. For such a time as this, you've worked for it. You've put in the hours for it. You've measured your time for it. And for such a time as this, again, just made it that much sweeter for you to obtain. And we closing it out. Your future you is measured by how much time you put in the present you. Only those who really understand will get this. Your future you, again, remember, measure is the spouse of time. Your future you is measured by how much time you put into your present you. What does that really mean? When you get to the point of wanting to be efficient, now take all that we said previous and bring it relatively to the present. When you get to the point of wanting to efficiently use the information that you have obtained by making yourself available to learn, for such a time as this, will definitely make it that much sweeter for you, because you've measured your time, you made yourself available, and you was efficient with the time that you were given. Everybody has 24 hours. Everyone. Today's date is the same for everyone. I don't care if you overseas. That date where you are is the same date as everyone everywhere where you are. But what are you doing with that? Are you being efficient with your time? Are you being available? And are you exercising or empowering with the information that you have gained? Because the more information that you have will put yourself in the position to have the most favorable outcome as you ever have, because you understand how important time is. Time is a resource. But what are you doing with that resource? What have you done with that resource? And what will you do with it? Y'all look at how much time you will put into your day. Look at how much time you've exercised this weekend. Look at how much you've eaten this weekend and how you want to either continue the process of what you've done this weekend or you can start something else. Time is always revolving, it's infinite. So you do have time to start over. You do have time to unlearn. You do have time to relearn. But I want you to measure your time properly. I want you to effectively and efficiently use your time. And I want you to develop a availability for time. And I guarantee you will definitely end up saying, for such a time as this.